This program is a collaboration of personal opinions and individual free thought. It does not represent the views or narrative of the mainstream corporate media hacks. Viewer discretion is advised.
And here we go.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome back to the live edition of the Break the Bell podcast. Bill, you're back.
I am. Hello, beautiful bell breakers.
You made me do this all by myself last week.
I know. But I heard you did a great
Who told you that?
people.
People? I
I have sources.
I don't know.
They
Hopefully I
keep
did.
track of
But you
things.
didn't listen to it, of course, because
I-
that would be ridiculous. I had a little 4th of July rant last week, which I didn't mean it to take this turn, but it ended up to a rant of stop paying taxes.
Yeah,
That's where it
I think
went.
that's a great idea,
Yeah,
actually.
I mean, it's just like, why are we doing all this other shit when all we gotta, like, fuck insurgencies or
Yeah.
riots or protests. All you gotta do is stop paying your tax, like all of us collectively, and this whole shit show just stops
I'm
immediately.
down for that.
Like, I mean, what are they gonna do? Send the police after us? Good luck when you're not able to pay them because we're not paying your taxes.
Exactly.
So, if you didn't hear that, go back and listen to that episode. Bill said he heard it was good, so I guess we'll go with it was good, I guess. So, this week is going to be fine. Fine. It's
Just
going to be
fine.
fine. Music is kind of choppy and cutting in and out.
I
I'm not
noticed
sure
that.
what's going on there, but we're just going to power through it. That's all right. How are you guys? It is now the 11th of July.
the
The 11th of July. We're like halfway through fucking
I
summer
know,
already.
It's mind-blowing.
The summer has just flown, which we say like every season. We're like, wow, the winter has flown and the spring has flown. Well, summer is flying, but we're still powering through it. It is Tuesday, not Monday, because I got stuck at work, which is super
happens.
gay. It's super gay, but we're here on a Tuesday, so hopefully y'all are here. You're not here, get here. That's all I got to say to that. If you're listening in the future in podcast land, come join us for a live episode because they're fun.
Yeah.
It's fun getting interaction from people. It's fun seeing this in real time, seeing all our fuck ups and all that stuff because we have plenty of them. And I used to edit I don't really edit them out as much now.
We don't
but
have as many fuck-ups.
we do. Plenty of fuck
Well,
ups.
yeah, but
Last week I had like a total utter failure because my computer was about to die. I went to plug it in and then I plugged the wrong charger into it. So my computer's like, no, that's wrong. And everything just like went to shit. So
I remember when we'd have like dead air where we're like looking for things.
Yeah.
Or we were all like,
yeah, but that was before we went live.
Yeah.
A lot of that was before we went live, and we would take like 5 hours to record an hour and a half episode.
2 hours of research right before. And
and then an hour of research at the break time.
Yeah.
And we're like, all right, what are we going to talk about on the second half? I'm glad we're past that. Now we just talk until we figure out what we're going to talk about.
We usually figure it out.
Yeah, I mean, that is like best quality is just speaking until I find what I'm going to speak. I mean, I consider it my best quality. Other people might not consider it that, but I consider it my best quality. I can bullshit until I figure out what it is I'm going to say. It gets me through interviews though, like job interviews or things like that. It's just like, no, I got this. I'm just going to talk. It's great politician. I should be a politician.
Yeah, you should.
Except
You
I say
should.
fuck too much for
You know what?
politicians.
People like
that
people
now?
polled like,
Derek is here, not disappointed.
oh, good.
Derek says, or no, he is disappointed.
Oh,
not
never
with
mind
us,
then.
but our country fair blows ass for rides this year. Our county,
in Missouri? I thought
I-
Missouri had good ones.
well, it depends on the county, I'm sure. Are you in a
that's
shitty fair county? Do they at least have good food? Because if the rides suck, at least you got like
Yeah.
the good foods like fried butter.
Funnel cakes.
Obviously, or is it the Iowa State Fair that has like all the like
Yeah,
fried butter,
yeah,
sticks of butter,
yeah,
fried
the
Oreos, and
deep fried Twinkie.
yes,
Yeah.
I want to try the fried butter because I feel like it would just stop my heart immediately.
Yeah.
And I mean, what a better way to go? I love butter. I love fried food. I fry food in butter, not fry butter in.
That sounds beautiful.
I mean, it'd be perfect. Tonight, speaking of indulging, tonight we're going to be talking about the recent discovery of cocaine at the White House.
I mean, does it surprise you?
Not at all. It's just like, really, this is news? They
Yeah.
found cocaine at the White House?
Yeah.
Just-
I figured
that's
were
it.
constantly putting it up.
Yeah. And this is very interesting just because of different angles on this, and obviously we have to speculate on whose cocaine it is.
Yeah,
That's
I mean,
most of the
yeah.
show is going to be
It's
us.
got pills, right? Jill Biden.
Obviously,
yes.
Jill Biden's a
You know she's
cokehead.
a cokehead.
I mean, list of who's at the White House. It could, like I said, like most of this episode is probably just going to be us speculating for whose cocaine it was. So, you guys get to sit back and enjoy that. Think about it while you're listening. Think about like hear out the evidence, which there's very little to none.
Yeah.
It's us. We don't have a lot of evidence, but hear out our evidence, and we'll do almost like a game of Clue. Like
Yeah.
who was
And
it?
I love how KJP was like, the FBI will be on, their top guys will be on this until they figure it out.
They'll be all
Yeah.
over it, like Corky Romano. As they have hot dogs, burgers, fries, tenderloins. Thankfully, none of that British shit you showed pics of last week. Did you see the British? I showed the boiled steak.
Oh,
the boiled
yes,
steak
yes,
that
you've
we
talked
fought
about, yeah.
fought for liberty from. We're gonna get into this.
Yeah.
We're talking about cocaine, but real quick, I guess we should do a bump.
Yeah.
I mean, that's why I have such a large desk. Do you know how many lines of cocaine I have? Could you imagine doing a podcast with lines of cocaine? How freaking fast!
I think it would be extremely entertaining.
I would literally be Romano, or he's
Yeah.
like, yes, no, yes, no, yes, no. I should buy a boat. Oh, one of the greatest depictions of cocaine use in cinematic history. Before we get into this show, obviously we got to tell you, as always, check us out all over the interwebs, all over the social medias, all over everywhere, all over your just everywhere. You can find us. You can find links to our show, links to our social medias at our website, breakthebellpod.com, or you can find us all over the social medias at our handle, which is also Break the Bell Pod. So go check that out. Share it far and wide. Share it more than the Bidens share their cocaine, or as much. I don't know. Do you think the Bidens are cocaine sharers?
No.
You don't think
that? I guess Hunter does like to share with the hookers.
Well, obviously.
Yeah.
No,
and
Hunter
probably
likes
his
to do it
kids.
on hookers.
Yeah, on
Yeah.
the hookers, but with the kids.
Yeah, that's exactly true.
Yeah.
But do you think Joe Biden's a sharer or a hoarder of his cocaine?
But maybe that's why he's always sniffing people,
That's probably true.
right? I
He's
mean,
probably
he's always,
puts a little in their hair.
right.
And during the interview, he just leans down. He's like, I'm just going to keep a little bit right here. So then in the middle of the interview, he just leans down. He's like, and people are like, man, he's doing lines
He's
of
doing a
cocaine
line.
off the little
and
girl's
it's really
pigtails.
genius if you think about
It really is. Anyway, all that to say, check us out all over social media. Share us far across the lands of the interwebs. Share us with your grandmas and your aunts, your cousins, and your sister's half step brother,
roommate.
Just everyone. Just share it with everyone so we can get rich enough to like lose cocaine. And that's another thing. Like it's not just in everybody cocaine, because they're obviously high enough status that they can lose their cocaine,
and they're fine with
and
it.
they're okay with it. Because if it was just a nobody off the street, they'd be back looking for their fucking cocaine.
Yeah.
And
that's the point that they're not talking about.
That's the biggest
Yeah.
biggest clue here, is that nobody's back looking for this cocaine. So it's gotta be somebody that has enough money to lose cocaine. Share us all over the interwebs. Go check out our buy our garbage, which can also be found at breakthebellpod.com. You can get the wonderful "I Won't Eat Your Bug" shirt. It's going to come down to that very, very soon. So buy that shirt and take a stand eating the crickets, eating the bugs.
I certainly stand against it.
Against it as well. The We Are Not Your Pawn shirt. We got some logo merchandise, some coffee mugs, a bunch of stuff over there. So go to breakthebellpod.com or breakthebell.bigcartel.com. There you go. That's our web store. Buy our shit so you can look and feel awesome and make us feel awesome about ourselves.
And spark conversation.
And spark
People love
conversation.
that.
I guess there's that too, but mostly so I can feel good about myself.
Okay.
So
Fair enough.
I'm ready to get into White House cocaine. Are you?
I am always ready to get into the cocaine.
Are you ready for this? Let's kick this thing off, right? And when we come back, we're gonna talk. We're gonna take a nosedive into the cocaine at the White House.
Very nice.
We'll be right back.
What did you say?
There you go.
You talking to me?
What the heck are you talking about?
What did you say? What did you say? What did you say?
Are you talking to me?
Are you talking to me? Are you talking to me?
What are you talking about? What are you talking about?
What are you saying?
What did you say?
Are you talking to me?
Well, maybe he was talking to me.
What'd you say?
Talk to me.
What in heaven's name are you talking about?
Talk to me, baby.
Did you just say?
What did you say?
You listen to me. Are you talking to me?
Are you talking to me?
What the hell are you talking about? Who are you talking to?
I don't know what's going on with music. It's just
Choppy.
It's choppy. Maybe my computer needs rebooted or something, but I don't. It's just background music. Who cares? Who fucking cares? I do, obviously.
Obviously.
I care about a little
professionally.
detail. What's that?
You do it professionally.
Something like that, but I just am very anal about the slightest issue, and so when it's chopping like that, it drives me insane like that, and it throws off my groove. And this is groovy music.
It is groovy music.
If you throw off the groove to groovy music, is it really groovy music anymore?
Not really.
Not really.
Not really. At least we're here.
Sort of here. Of all the things that we know happens in rich circles, like high society circles, like political, like the high profile political circles, like the things we know are going on, or speculate are going on, or there's conspiracy theories that we talk about are going on. I would say finding cocaine in the White House is on the bottom of the most surprising things that would be reported as happening.
Especially considering the Bidens are in the White House.
Well, just considering high corporate levels, they're all doing fucking cocaine.
yeah.
Like in the stock market, they're all. You've seen Wolf on Wall Street. They're all fucking doing cocaine.
Yeah.
But it's how they stay awake for hours in a 24-hour period and keep their work going. And I look at musicians, wealthy musicians at least used to be doing cocaine. I mean, it's just how they stay going, I guess, and they go. They go hard.
Actors,
Derek says, I hear they called Hunter in to test it instead of spending the money on a test kit. I can't confirm or deny that I may or may not have just I mean,
fair enough.
might as well. Here, taste this. Is this good cocaine? He's like, oh, that's good shit. That's not mine.
Yeah, it's good quality.
All right, I got to get rid of this fucking music. It's pissing me off now. So like I was saying though, I don't fault the people at those levels and with that pressure and with the constant on the go. I don't fault musicians for doing lines of cocaine to keep their creative juices flowing.
And it's not typically, I mean, as far as we know, they're doing an American Psycho type thing, where they're killing people on the side.
Fair. Yeah, that's true. I mean, Elton John was at his best, his most prime when he was on freaking grams, multiple grams, maybe kilos of cocaine.
I would argue that's probably why music was much better in the 80s than it is now.
Arguing that, that's why. You look at Elton John in the 70s. He
Yeah.
was good. He was
Yeah.
good in the 70s. He
Yeah.
was a little kind of like lower key, like more melodic, more like you'd listen to fall
Right.
asleep at night. Maybe his music was still good. Take him in the 80s when he was at his height of cocaine. Take those same songs and watch them how he performed in the 80s, and it was like, holy shit, what happened? And it's like mountains of cocaine, man, like little mountains of cocaine. And then now, 90s, 2000s, he's more like more.
Although when we saw him in concert that one time, he was like karate chopping the piano, doing karate kicks, and then he could barely move across the stage. I'm like,
I am convinced that he's like, this is my final tour. Just give me a bump, and I'm fine with that. Like that concert was fucking phenomenal.
Yes.
He's done, by the way. I saw a report a little bit ago that he's done. 5 years it took him to finish that tour.
That was his
5
finale.
years.
It took us 3 years to watch it.
It took us 3 years, and it took him 5 years to finish it. But again, not faulting the guy. I'm glad he's supposedly now. I would say it probably ruins a lot of lives, but a lot of good things have come from cocaine.
Yes,
or at least people on cocaine.
Artistic, yes.
But the people at the White House, would you consider them artistic geniuses?
Oh,
though?
No, they can't even do it.
Like, if you're gonna be doing cocaine, like make something of it.
Yeah, right. Do something. Even if you're in the White House, you could do creative, like budgeting, to make things work. It doesn't make sense,
right?
And I'd be like, yeah, okay.
So much cocaine is lost on the retards in the White House, or in any political in DC alone. Like probably like 80% of the country's cocaine is in DC alone, and then I'd say probably 60%, and then there's probably 30% in New York, like where the stock exchange is. A bit in LA, I'm sure, quite a bit.
A lot of Nancy Pelosi's house,
obviously. So, anyway, there's been apparently that cocaine was found at the White House. All this to say, Secret Service did test it. Whether that being Hunter Biden or test it.
Anthrax, and were they like, nope, it's definitely cocaine.
They probably snorted it just to see. They have a test subject. Well, I feel like, back to what Derek, I feel like Hunter take the risk of snorting it.
Oh yeah.
The slight chance that it's anthrax versus cocaine, he's like, it's a risk I'm willing to take. Let's go for it,
Dad.
It's like, how high could I get off anthrax?
Yeah.
They're like, that's not how it works, dude. It's like, well, I'm gonna do it anyway. So this is from 87newyork.com or ny.com. Let me share the screen here if it'll let me. Let's see this one. I should have this shared. You get to see my Spice Girls.
Oof.
Look at my Spice Girls background. I'm trying to share the screen. Where are you at? Here we go. All right. Secret Service test confirms that cocaine was found at the White House. A spokesman says a powder had been undergoing lab testing since being discovered Sunday. How much lab testing do you need to find if powdery substance
give
is
it
cocaine?
To the first dog, right?
Exactly. Like, although how like, do you really need days worth of testing?
I think they were praying and hoping that it was not.
They were praying it was anthrax.
Yeah. Please God, let this be
because
anthrax.
then we could start another war.
Yeah, right.
A U.S. Secret Service spokesman on Wednesday confirmed that test shows it was cocaine found in the White House West Wing Sunday evening. The investigation into how it got there is going. The white powder found during a routine search, a source said. A preliminary field test had showed the substance tested positive for cocaine. The cocaine was found on the ground floor of the White House near the West Executive entrance, where visitors are instructed to typically drop off their cell phones when visiting the White House, according to a source familiar with it. So we have this like drop-off point. It's like, here, place all your cell phones here and place all your cocaine here. And then they round that all up and they take it to the people that work there and never see it again. But somebody who was up dropped one, apparently.
Okay.
I don't know. That's
maybe someone got the instructions messed up and they're like, oh, drop my shit here.
Yeah. Some visitors are able to tour parts of the West Wing, and tours typically take place on the weekends. So what they're trying to say is some tourists were coming in and touring the White House in the West Wing, and they dropped off their cell phone. They're like, I'm just going to hide my cocaine over here. Nobody's going to find it. And somebody found that. That's not how, like, they just got in the White House and like, oh shit, I forgot I got my cocaine in my pocket. I better drop this off over.
I don't want to find this on me. So.
Right. Like, seriously, just left their cocaine hit a dime bag in the corner, or like, well, just here.
Plant.
Yeah. Unfortunately, the routine check found it before he was able to get back to his cocaine and find it.
It's tragedy.
When asked if there were tours this past weekend, the Secret Service would not confirm, saying these are details that are pertinent to our investigation and not something we can get into. So you can't even say, because I'm sure it's public record.
Yeah.
If tours going on in the White House.
People,
oh no, that's part.
The most
only
secure
reason
building in the country.
The only reason that they cannot say if there were tours during that time was isn't tours during that time.
Right.
Because otherwise, why wouldn't you just be like, oh yeah, there's all kinds of tours, like yeah, we have tours every minutes. It could have literally been, no, it's this is details pertinent to our investigation, whether there was a tour or not.
Yeah, right.
That's like saying, was there somebody walking on the street during the time of that crime? Well, that's pertinent. We can't conceal that because that's pertinent to our investigation. President Joe Biden and his family and family members, doesn't say who, doesn't say Hunter, it says family members were at Camp David at the time. The White House has referred questions about the matter to Secret Service. That's the early reports.
Yeah.
What's your thoughts?
It seems like they're stonewalling a little bit, and the fact that
you don't think it's the tourists.
Who does cocaine to visit the White House that can afford cocaine?
I was just about to say, newsflash, cocaine ain't. Nobody's just leaving a line around.
And nobody wants to go see the White House if
they're on cocaine. Why would you?
Exactly.
Like, it's like, hey, let's get high on cocaine
and go
get
visit the White
amped
House.
up and go visit the White House.
Yeah.
No, that's something you smoke weed to go do.
Yes, exactly.
Because then you might be like, oh, dude, look at that portrait of Michael Michelle Obama.
See Lincoln's ghost.
Doesn't it look like she has a wiener? She totally has a wiener, bro. No, not cocaine.
No.
Because then all you want to do is probably bounce off the fucking wall.
Yeah.
So you're not, but you're telling me you're not buying this story.
I'm not buying it. I'm not buying it.
So,
and to be honest, like as you said, you would think they'd want people to know. Oh well, there was a lot of traffic this weekend, right?
Right. Exactly. No, but no, it's not important. Now, here's my next question. Being in the field that you work in, do you think there may or may not be cameras at the busy door that a bunch of tourists come in time?
Yeah. I would assume so. Yes, the White House, but maybe Nancy Pelosi's would have cameras too, and apparently she didn't.
But this is the fucking White House.
Well, I know.
This is literally the White House.
Yes, the most secure building in the country.
Apparently the busiest door of the White House where all the visitors come tour.
Yes, I would imagine that they would know the blood type of everybody that came through that door.
How long would you say? Because they got to know roughly the time frame that has showed up there if they are indeed doing routine checks.
Right.
How long would you say it would take to comb back through video footage to find that?
Yeah.
Especially something like this.
Yeah. I would think they could probably get it done really quick.
Under an hour?
Oh, yeah.
But I mean, this was on the 5th that this report came out, and we still don't have answers.
Right.
They're still reviewing the video footage.
Yeah. Now,
it does not take fucking that long. I've reviewed 20 hours of video footage.
To put it in perspective, I found 3 vandals on a bike riding through a park in probably about 40 minutes.
In what time span, though?
Oh, it was like a good 10 hours that they were.
Okay, not like a routine amount of time that people are supposed to be doing inspections, which I would say would probably be every 30 to an hour. 30
I would
minutes
say
to
so.
an hour, maybe a couple hours.
Yeah.
Maybe even combing through like 6 hours of camera footage.
Yeah.
I mean, somebody's got to see something.
Yeah.
And if they did see something, they would have, if it was a freaking tourist, they would have told us who it was by now. Who it was, not this whole, it's investigation,
Yeah.
guys.
Yeah.
Because the problem is they saw on camera who dropped it off of there, and they're like, shit, how do we stonewall it? How do we cover this up? How do we spin this? Like, what do we do?
Yeah.
So I guess let's begin.
Okay.
Obviously, who's the first culprit that comes to mind?
Hunter
Biden, obviously.
Yeah.
Obviously,
known
Hunter Biden.
cokehead and all around.
Not
idiot.
even known, like admitted.
Yes.
Like
yes.
I've snorted cheese off of Parmesan cheese off of dirty carpet.
I mean, whenever I
dirty
saw a clip
hooker
of
carpet too.
Gross. I saw a clip of him this weekend, and he was rubbing his nose.
Was that the one at the White House?
Yeah.
Where he's next to Joe, and he's just like off in a daze. Yeah, I saw that one too. I'm just like, he's probably on coke.
Yeah.
Now just because he's aside from being Joe Biden's son, he's most known for being a drug addict.
Yes.
Doesn't mean we can just assume that it's his cocaine, though.
Sure.
I mean,
I mean, okay. Consider this. Consider the White House is like, say, a business, right?
Yeah.
Now you find cocaine in the business, right? First of all, you would go to your known suspects, right?
Mm-hmm.
But then you drug test everybody, right?
No, because they're all gonna pop. I think it's pretty safe to say that coke could literally belong to anybody who's ever stepped foot.
And it very well could be. It could be a Secret Service guy. Remember that report a couple years ago? The Secret Service guys, I think they're Obama guys. They were like partying in some Costa Rica or something like that, and
does surprise me.
Yeah.
Now let's take a look at like I said, anybody who's steps, there's a good chance that is their coke. Just look at a couple of examples. God, this is going really slow. Hopefully this here.
Our other favorite.
Play, damn it.
Voting the day that we lost Ruth Bader Ginsburg.
But to be clear, you're not taking any arrows out of your quiver. You're not ruling anything out.
Good morning. Sunday morning. We have a responsibility. We take no.
Classic cokehead.
Yes.
Classic coke.
One of my personal favorite cokeheads.
One of my, yes, exactly. So I mean, I don't think Nancy was in the house over the weekend, but I'm just putting out there that there are so many cokeheads there that this could be like
in context. My mother she would give us a hard time sometimes, and she would say to us, I don't know what's wrong with you young people. You think you just fell out of a coconut tree? You exist in the context of all in which you live and what came before you.
That woman is on so much cocaine. She has a laugh. The coke cackle.
Oh yeah.
Like she is always she always looks like she's on coke. Nancy has the coke mouth.
Yes.
She's always
and she's always licking her.
Yeah. I don't know. But all this to say, you can't just throw it at Hunter Biden because he's the known drug addict because they're all on coke.
Yeah.
Every single one of them's on something. We'll get back to Kamala later because I got more about Kamala Harris. Like I said, you throw it. I'm not even going to really get too much into Hunter because he's just like
too obvious.
He's low. It's just low hanging. I don't know. I would like to just be like, oh, obviously Hunter Biden throwing a party at the White House with his coke, but I feel like he'd be more like on crack or meth or something. I don't know. He is living a little higher life.
He is. But he did say he likes crack a little more than coke.
Really? So maybe that's left there. He's like,
this
it's
not even worth it.
Yeah. So we'll get back to some more speculating in a bit. The White House getting tired of the questions, though.
Oh, I'm sure.
I mean, what's her name? The
KJP,
the press secretary, Karine Jean-Pierre, French. She's got to be French. Apparently, she scolded a reporter on Friday and told him he was irresponsible for asking questions like, whose cocaine was it?
Because that's not something people need to know, right?
No, I mean, that's just this is from nationalreview.com. And it says White House Press Secretary Karine Jean-Pierre scolded a reporter Friday. Jesus Christ, pop up the damn article. There it is. Scolded a reporter Friday for asking if she would answer once and for all whether the cocaine that was discovered in the White House on Sunday belonged to the Biden family. Do you think her response was no? Do you think it was just no?
No, I don't ever see her just answering a question. No.
She said, I said a white powder was discovered, blah, blah, blah. We have read all of that. In response to the question, wait a second. Scroll back up. Suggested it was found in a locker used by visitors. Now, the initial report said in a corner.
Okay.
I don't know if I believe that. In response to the question, Jean-Pierre said, there has been some irresponsible reporting about the family, and I got to call that out here. The Biden family was not here. They were at Camp David. They were not here Friday. They were not here Saturday. They were not here Sunday. They were not even here Monday. They came back Tuesday. So to answer that question is actually incredibly irresponsible. Or to ask that question is actually incredibly irresponsible. Now, does that sound like a long way of talking around the question?
Yeah.
Like, it's common knowledge that the more you deny something, the more you're probably lying about it.
Yes.
If you have to overtly deny, like, just all you got to do is say no.
Yeah.
Fuck no, that's not the Bidens. I mean, that would be more believable than.
But even more so, she throws the blame back on the reporters. Right.
Yeah, playing the blame game.
Yeah.
Not actually directly answering the question, saying they weren't here. They weren't here this day. They weren't here this day. They weren't here.
It can't be theirs.
It's not theirs.
Yeah.
She stressed in comments delivered from the podium earlier this week that the initially reported location where the cocaine was supposed to have been found is heavily trafficked by visitors. What I want to be very clear is that this is a heavily trafficked, heavily traveled, to be more accurate, area of the campus of the White House. It is where visitors to the West Wing come through. Again, very emphasizing, a lot of emphasis on her points here.
Yeah,
which I don't know if she's trying to convince herself or convince us.
Maybe it's hers.
They weren't here this day, or this day. This is a heavily trafficked, heavily traveled, heavily traveled area.
Yeah.
So it could have literally, heavily, obviously been anyone's.
Yeah.
Obviously.
Yeah.
You believe it, right? So,
sure.
Hunter's off the hook then.
Oh,
right?
yeah. He's got.
Hunter's off the hook. Family's off the hook. Well, the thing is that one report said members of Biden's family. It doesn't say which members of Biden's family. Like, Jill could have been back in the White House.
I can see Jill hitting
the cocaine. I mean, partying it up because
with
Joe's
Kamala.
gone. Yeah. Oh, jeez. Having love affair.
Yes.
Gross. God damn it. So it gets a little dicey after this part, because things keep coming out.
Right.
You heard that heavily trafficked area.
Yes.
A day or so later, this report, not that, that's her talking. Let's get rid of some of these tabs. Maybe things go smoother. This report comes out that says, actually, the cocaine was found near the Situation Room, not where they originally said.
Well, that's quite a bit more serious.
Still the West Wing, I guess.
But not an area that tourists would drop their phones off at.
Let's see what this says. This is from newsnationnow.com. Jesus, why do these not want to pop up for me? Pop up. There we go. Officials conducting the White House cocaine inquiry have updated the location of the powder's discovery, stating it was found near the White House West Executive entrance rather than previously reported the West Wing.
Wow.
That changes things.
A lot.
Like, how much do you think that changes things?
Well, it's no longer a heavily traveled area that just anybody could come through.
And so was it in a locker? Or was it in a corner next to the West Wing? Or was it near the White House's West Executive entrance?
Yes.
This says investigators said the bag of powder was found between the foyer level lobby and the West Executive entrance. This location is situated below the main West Wing office shares the same floor as the Situation Room. It's near the area where some vehicles, like the vice president's limo and SUV, are parked. Like I said, maybe we'll get back to Kamala Harris. Just happens to park right there.
Right.
Her limo and her SUV. Why does she have an SUV and a limo?
Yeah, it sounds like a little anti-carbon.
Yeah, right. It says National Security Advisor Jake Sullivan said Friday that the Situation Room is not being used because it is under construction. So somebody's hiding out down there doing their cocaine.
Yeah, right. That's where I would go,
Maybe
right?
it's I mean, it could be the construction workers' cocaine.
That's
obviously.
true. Obviously.
The only people coming in and going out of the Situation Room in this period have been workers, he said. The White House is not only facing security concerns due to the incident, but it's also causing distractions from Biden's focus on the economy this week. Despite the White House's assurance of taking the matter seriously.
Now, you have worked in very high level security areas. I think they would let just any worker come in without also keeping track of who's
No,
in
but
there?
the coke dealers. For
Sure.
Definitely the coke dealers. So what do you think about this? This happens to be an area now that's not so heavily trafficked by any tourist.
Right.
But by only like workers and staff, and really close to where Kamala Harris's limo was, close to where Kamala Harris's SUV parks, like right inside the door. Like she walked in the door, she's like, oh shit, like I dropped my keys, she to pick up her keys, and drops her coke on the floor and proceeds with her day.
I can see it.
Imagine the bad day that she had though. It's like shit. She's sitting in like a press briefing and she's like, shit, forgot my coke. Where the fuck did my coke go?
Okay, yeah, I'm fine. Just I forgot something.
It certainly changes the fucking story though.
A lot.
Like if this was not a high profile individual, this investigation would have concluded in under an hour, I think.
Yeah.
Like they find the coke, they like pull the video footage, there's the guy, grab him, it's done. Investigation done. But instead, we have this. Where it's like, no, it's not possibly this. It was this. It was here in this high trafficked area. You're absurd. You're irresponsible for asking whether or not this could be, God forbid, one of our officials. How dare you think such things about somebody
way above that?
Right. No, heroin, not cocaine. I mean, do you think Joe's alive enough right now that, like, does he seem like a cokehead?
I think he would die.
I don't know. Maybe cocaine is literally the only thing keeping him alive right now.
That would be novel.
So I got more on the case for Kamala, obviously.
I like that. That should be a movie.
It should. This article is from Washington Free Beacon. It says, was Hunter framed? A second suspect emerges in the White House cocaine scandal. That suspect happens to be our very own Vice President Kamala Harris. This says, the case for Kamala. Harris's political career was nearly upended by a cocaine-related scandal in 2010. When a California state judge ruled that Harris failed to share information she was required to disclose to defense attorneys.
I remember that.
Weeks after one of Harris's top deputies in San Francisco's district attorney's office expressed concern about the reliability of a crime lab technician, the technician was busted for taking cocaine from the lab, possibly tainting evidence and raising concerns about hundreds of cases. So this guy works in the crime lab, does a little dipping on the side, dipping into the evidence.
Right.
He gets busted for taking some of the evidence to indulge in himself, and this stuff like hurts the case because tampering with evidence raises a bunch of concerns over a bunch of other cases that he's worked on. Says weeks after one of Harris's top deputies in San Francisco district attorney's office expressed concern about the reliability. Okay, that's what I just read. Harris had a moral and professional obligation to disclose that information to defense attorneys representing the clients charged with the drug-related offense linked to the delinquent lab technician. She neglected to do so and was credibly accused of having systematically violated the defendant's civil and constitutional rights.
Wow.
So she finds out her technician, well, supposedly finds out her technician, the lab technician, was dipping in the cocaine. She doesn't disclose it to, like, she's prosecuting this,
Right.
doesn't disclose it to the defendant. So gets accused of violating the defendant's civil rights.
Mhm.
She probably didn't disclose it because he's probably getting it for her, bringing it back, and they were indulging in it together.
Right.
After being reprimanded by the state judge, Harris was forced to dismiss roughly 1,000 drug-related cases.
Wow.
Many of which already resulted in convictions.
How did she even have a job after
How
that?
is she our fucking vice
Right,
president after that?
yes.
Like, how do you work your way, still manage to work, besides blowjobs, obviously?
Right,
How do you still manage to work your way up in society to the point where you're the vice president of the
After
United
a fuck
States?
up like that.
After, you get 1,000 drug-related cases thrown out, even though many of them were convictions.
Mm.
I mean, I don't know. I can guess a few things.
Yeah.
What the hell is happening? I'm having issues. Barbara Placeberg. Hello, Barbara. Says,
Barbara?
I think it's hers. I do
Yeah,
too.
I'm down with that.
I mean, might as well be. It could be literally anybody's, but it's a lot of
Yeah,
speculation.
Like you said, we got to hit all the suspects.
Obviously. Well, at least some of the suspects.
Well, the good ones.
Mounting evidence. So here's more cocaine issues. Mounting evidence. Kamala's former lover, Willie
Brown,
the blowjob guy,
yes,
went out of his way to defend a wealthy San Francisco coke dealer indicted for trafficking hundreds of kilos of illegal substance. While serving as Speaker of the California State Assembly in the mid-1980s, Brown appeared in court as an attorney for Lester White Boy Smith, a Ferrari salesman and notorious suburban drug dealer. Smith was arrested for attempting to buy 220 pounds of cocaine from undercover
Holy
officers.
shit.
Smith faced a potential life sentence, but Brown pleaded for leniency and requested a 4-year prison term for the model young man who made a stupid mistake. 220 pounds is not an stupid mistake.
Right.
Dude, this guy's been doing this for a while.
Right.
You don't just get this on a whim. I'm going to go buy 220 pounds of cocaine to sell with my Lamborghinis or Ferraris.
He sounds like somebody exactly out of Miami Vice.
Jesus.
Danny White Boy Smith.
Smith was subsequently arrested again for dealing drugs after his release on a $3 million bail. He was ultimately convicted and sentenced to 27 years in prison. So the connection with Harris is obviously she dated Brown, the guy that got him.
Right. Who was probably a client of White Boy.
Probably. From 94 to 95, shortly before he was elected mayor of San Francisco. Brown admitted to boosting her career by appointing her to a highly compensated position on California state commissions. I certainly helped with her first race for district attorney in San Francisco, Brown wrote in a 2019 op-ed. The same year, he was honored with a Washington Free Beacon Man of the Year award. Bottom line is, Harris has a problematic history when it comes to cocaine. She occasionally cackles like a cokehead. The drugs were found near her vehicle. Coincidence? There's the evidence right there.
Yes.
It's got to be real. I mean, it's on the internet. It's real, right?
Right. It's a perfect shot.
I mean, I guess that's why she didn't go back for the dime bag, because she had that pile of
Exactly
cocaine
in the situation room.
On the situation.
She was doing with the construction guys.
You know, they probably in the situation room go in and take a line before they.
Oh, yeah. I mean, look at General Milley. You know he's a cokehead.
They all are.
Yeah.
Every freaking one of them are cokeheads. They have to be. Otherwise, like, what else explains the type of people they are?
Yeah.
They're like stereotypical cokeheads. So what do you think? Kamala Harris.
Viable candidate. Not for presidency.
No.
For coke.
For it being her coke.
Yes.
Or at least like maybe one of her minions that was like delivering it to her.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Head into the situation room. You know, maybe she's doing coke-fueled orgies in the situation room with construction guys.
God, gross. Now, who do you think is more than likely that it belongs to? Hunter Biden or Kamala Harris?
Man, I agree with you. Hunter's too easy, and he was gone. And he shouldn't be in the situation room, but not saying that that's not possible that he's in there.
True.
So
I
I like
look
Kamala,
at all
though.
the places Hunter's been that he's
Well,
not supposed
yeah,
to be.
I like Kamala for this. I do.
You like
Yeah.
more likely Kamala?
I think so. Yes.
Anybody else on our list that you can think of? Because Trump has an idea.
Does he?
Oh yeah.
I mean, let's see. Who else could have access there? Secret Service, obviously. That's an option.
You're missing the big one.
Harris.
Who else has access to this? Well, should have access to the situation. Well, probably shouldn't have access, but does have access to this. Who's the most important person in the situational room?
No, the president, Biden. But I can't see it being him.
Trump can, apparently.
Well, of course, Trump can.
So here is what Trump posted on Truth Social. Let me see if I can find the actual post. Oh, geez. Is this the right article? No, this isn't it. That's why I can't find it. Donald Trump twists White House cocaine story into the most self-serving conspiracy theory
Is
ever.
this Politico or MSNBC?
This is HuffPost, obviously.
Oh, okay. There you go.
Close enough. Pretty much all the same thing.
Yeah.
So here is his post on Truth Social. It says, was crooked Joe Biden on cocaine when he instructed the FBI and DOJ to illegally invade my home, Mar-a-Lago, in complete and total violation of my Fourth Amendment rights? Was he on cocaine or various other substances when he, for the first time in U.S. history, had his political opponent, who is leading him in polls by a lot, indicted and arrested twice, if you include the DOJ run on the Manhattan DA's office? We are a nation in decline. So there you have it. Trump thinks it was Biden's cocaine, and Biden was on the cocaine when he had him arrested and sent the FBI to raid his home. Okay. And that was all a cocaine-induced rage.
Okay.
What do you think? What do you think of that one?
I don't think so.
You don't think it's a Biden thing?
I don't think it's a Biden thing. No. I think he's got a lot wrong with him, but cocaine's not one of them. Maybe in the 70s and 80s, he was all about the coke.
Now,
that's probably how Hunter first got it.
I think I thought that way too. And then this unrelated article came up that talks about how much of an asshole Joe Biden is. This has been in the news. This has been in the news this week of how much of an asshole Joe Biden can be and how much he can like fly off the handle. Can you picture Joe Biden flying off the handle?
Yeah, I can.
I can't. He's just so like the portrayal of like Sleepy Joe. But this says, and what should come as a surprise to no one, President Biden is a complete asshole. This is from Zero Hedge. It says, as the rest of the media turns on the big guy over corruption scandals, cover-ups, and ghosting his 4-year-old granddaughter. Did you hear about that?
No.
Like, he came out and said he had 6 grandchildren and just completely ghosted his bastard grandchild to the stripper. Yeah, that happened last week, too. Several staffers have revealed to Axios that behind closed doors, Joe Biden is a prick who has such a quick-triggered temper that some aides try to avoid meeting alone with him. Some take a colleague almost as a shield against a solo blast. So this is, and I quote from Joe Biden, God damn it, how the fuck don't you know this? Don't fucking bullshit me and get the fuck out of here.
Was that his granddaughter?
Probably. I quote current and former Biden aides who have witnessed and been on the receiving end of such outbursts. I don't consider those like straight, like that's pretty tame.
Yeah.
I was in the military. Right. That's pretty tame.
Yeah.
If I wasn't told, don't you fucking know this on a daily basis, like something was off that day. Something was way off that day. According to one administration official, no one, Biden aides still talk about how the president lost his shit at COVID czar Jeff Zients in late 2021 when there was a shortage of testing kits as the Omicron variant spread. A spokesperson, Zients, now Biden's chief of staff, told Axios, I'm not going to speak to what internal convos may or may not have happened between Jeff and the president. There is no question that Biden's temper is for real. It may not be as volcanic as Bill Clinton's, but it's definitely there. Well, Bill Clinton was on coke too.
Yeah, no shit.
Now, you know how a cokehead acts when they need a bump? Like, have you heard about Elton John's outbursts?
Yeah.
Like how his tantrums and shit like that when
Mhm.
they need a bump. It goes a little something.
Just tell me that. I'll settle for it. You know what I mean? I'll buy that. Vincent. Give me what you got! Vincent. What you got! I swear, man, my brother Rich is gonna talk to you. Just tell me that.
So, seeing that and hearing about Biden's just random outbursts and knowing how cokeheads are when they bump,
That's
can you?
possible.
I mean, with these reports coming out, alongside the reports of the cocaine at the White House, is there a case to be made that maybe Joe Biden is a cokehead?
Yeah, I guess I could see that
I
too.
mean, there's evidence out there. I mean, not really weighted, not really evidence, but just to speculate. The guy has frequent outbursts. He's a Biden politician in D.C. He's probably a cokehead.
And he runs with the high rollers. He has since the 60s, right?
Yeah.
So
yeah.
I mean, he's perfect candidate for it.
Yeah. So
that was a valid case made.
We've got now Hunter.
Mm-hmm.
We've got Kamala.
Yes.
We've got
Biden.
Joe
Biden.
Of the three, with the evidence circulating out there, who do we go with as the culprits? That's as the culprit that lost the coke.
Yeah, I still got to go with Kamala. I think Joe would have someone carry it for him.
Well, yeah, he would lose his cocaine.
Yeah.
He did lose his cocaine.
Someone did.
Maybe like, yes, Joe, you can carry your cocaine this time. And he's like, oh shit.
It was around here.
Where's that? What was that I was looking for again? Oh well.
We'll blame it on someone else.
All right. So we talked about we speculated on who it could be.
Yeah.
And you think you're going for Kamala probably? I
one.
think Kamala too.
Yeah.
Most likely. I mean, it's near her. It's near her SUV. She's obviously a cokehead.
Yes.
Based on our pure speculation alone.
The president's out of town, right? Time to party.
Oh yeah.
Right?
Yeah, absolutely. Now, we talked about like, why didn't they figure out who this was sooner? Well, this article talks about why they didn't detect the cocaine. And this just is more evidence to support what I've been saying this whole time. They all fucking do coke.
Right.
Why the Secret Service didn't detect cocaine? Do you know why? Can you guess why?
They got rid of all the coke dogs before Biden came in.
The dogs don't sniff for coke. They don't.
They don't?
They have dogs at the White House, but they don't sniff for coke.
Bombs.
Yes. Could you imagine that? Shocking. They don't have dogs that sniff for drugs at the White House. On one hand, I'm like, that is absolutely shocking to me. Then on the other hand, it's like, that is not shocking at all to me. Because everybody there.
That's why they had to German Shepherd.
Oh.
Holy shit! It was a retired police dog that they brought in. That's why they had to get rid of it. Holy crap!
Powdery substances like anthrax and ricin are some of the lethal materials that law enforcement and detection systems found near the White House typically search for with radiological, biological, and chemical nuclear devices. Are also police dogs that sniff for detection of chemicals. After a substance later confirmed to be cocaine was found in the White House West Wing, it wasn't the West Wing, it was near the Situation. On Sunday, officials confirmed that dogs on surveillance detail at the White House do not sniff for drugs. A former senior high-ranking law enforcement official who agreed to speak on security matters at the White House on condition of anonymity agreed that identifying drugs like cocaine is not what they police for. The objective of the Secret Service and security measures at the White House are about protecting the president and protecting their dirty little secrets like their coke habits.
Yes.
I mean, the dogs are going fucking insane.
Oh, fuck yeah.
If they were trained to sniff for cocaine.
But it's just like covering up or getting a gun illegally, right?
Right.
I mean,
absolutely.
That's what their job is now. Not so much protect, they cover up.
I mean, us peons out here, they get drugged for a blinker being out.
Yeah.
And they sniff our cars for drugs. But let them just walk in and out of the White House without ever getting for drugs. It's not the job of the Secret Service to pat someone down and search them for drugs, said Ari Fletcher, former White House press secretary for George W. Bush. Well, obviously he wasn't patting down anyone for drugs because Bush was a freaking cokehead. He told the Griot it's more shocking that such an occurrence has not happened before, but it has happened now. It's just they did a better job at keeping it in their pockets before.
How did this get leaked?
Somebody probably saw it that wasn't supposed to see it.
Okay.
And was like, oh shit. Well, they said it was, I don't know how it got leaked, but they said it was discovered by somebody on patrol. But it's probably like somebody, one of the workers that was just kind of wandering around was like, oh shit, there's cocaine there. Like, God damn it. He pulls out his gun with the silent, and then another pulls out. He's like, fuck. Fletcher said the White House and the Secret Service must be forthcoming with information about the cocaine discovery at the White House, which is currently under investigation. During a press briefing on Wednesday, White House Press Secretary Karine Jean-Pierre confirmed Joe Biden was out of town with his family at the time of the cocaine discovery. The presidential spokesman deferred all inquiries related to the investigation to the Secret Service. The last known publicized discovery of white powdery substance connected to the White House was during Fletcher's tenure as press secretary in 2001. The anthrax scare.
Yeah.
The anthrax
issue.
And that they have dogs to sniff for anthrax, but not for cocaine for obvious reasons. Because, well, aside from Hunter Biden, nobody in there snorting anthrax, hopefully.
Yeah, right.
So what's your opinion on the fact that they don't have any drug kind of response at the fucking White House?
Right. Yeah. No, I agree with that. I think that's really odd. But like you said, with the people coming in, it's nose candy. I mean, they're all on it.
Dogs licking their face all the fucking time.
Right. But okay, so what happens? So who takes the vice president? Say like they figure out a terrorist, right? And Harris comes up. She's like, "Yeah, it's mine. I'm gonna go." It won't happen, but theoretically, right? Who takes her place?
Jesus, I don't know. I don't know.
All right, let's see here.
Who's next in line? Speaker of the House?
I would think so.
I think it's Speaker of the House next, which is a Republican.
Oh,
which
yeah,
would be
they don't want that.
No. So they're not sending Kamala to rehab. No, absolutely not. It'll be like, oh, it was a one-time, it was a mistake. It was in, I got this jacket from a homeless person and it fell out of it.
Yeah, but we know none of that's even going to come up.
No, it's about time for a break so I can go get a bump real quick. When I come back, like we've done our speculating, we weighed the evidence.
Yes, we have our suspects.
When I come back, I want to talk about, because I mean, obviously this is the first time drugs have ever been in the White House, right?
Yes.
I want to talk about the history of drugs in the White House. Some of the more well-known drug cases in the White House, because it's fun. It's all fun. So that's what we're going to do when we come back. I'm going to take a cocaine break, and we're going to keep going down this nosedive as this unfolds.
So sniff them if you got them.
Yes. So yeah, we're going to talk about drugs in the White House when we come back. So don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
Have you ever thought that maybe voting, maybe all this politics constantly surrounding you is not the way to achieve freedom in your life? Hi, I'm Remso W. Martinez, and I ask myself the same question. That's why I'm on a journey to find true freedom in my lifetime. From learning about financial independence, to new ways to develop rugged individualism, to amazing guests living strange, crazy, amazing lifestyles that you've only thought might be real, but actually are. Go ahead and check out my new show, On the Run with Remso W. Martinez, at the We Are Libertarians Network. You can find On the Run with Remso W. Martinez on iTunes, SoundCloud, Stitcher, Google Play. You know how the internet works. Come on down and let's discover how to achieve real freedom in your life together.
Hey everybody, I just want to take this time to give a big shout out to the very first sponsor of the Break the Bell podcast. That is Goulash Media. They can be found at goulashmedia.net. Goulash Media specializes in graphic design, web design, audio recordings, video work, wedding videos, music videos, even political campaign videos. Goulash Media caters to the little guy with the big vision. You can check them out at goulashmedia.net. That's GOULASH media.net.
like that music would be played if like Kamala was back looking for her coke. She couldn't remember where she put it.
Probably. Seems like old like caper music.
Yeah,
like
right.
Spy
That's
movie music.
That's what I was thinking.
Yeah. So
I have an update here.
what's the update?
All right. So it says the House Oversight and Accountability Committee will receive a briefing from the Secret Service on the cocaine found in the White House in early July. Austin Hacker, the Deputy Communications Director for Representative James Comer, confirmed the Secret Service will brief the committee Thursday morning. Comer Committee Chairman sent a letter to Secret Service Director Kimberly Chadle and said the presence of illegal drugs in the White House is an unacceptable and shameful moment in the White House's history. Right up there with Monica Lewinsky, I'm sure.
Oh yes, obviously.
The Secret Service is supposed to wrap up the investigation this week.
Drugs at the White House is unacceptable. That's why I have this next article, which talks about a brief history of drugs at the White House.
I like it.
Never happened, right?
No.
Yeah, I mean,
Shameful. Never happens.
Just a stain on our history. There's no reason to think that this. I mean, it's just a one-off thing that we shouldn't concern ourselves with, obviously, or should we? This from RollingStone.com. Like I said, it's titled "A Brief History of Drugs at the White House." From JFK to Willie Nelson, here's a list of alleged drug activity by White House residents and guests. In fact, Willie Nelson.
Nice.
Yes. The discovery of cocaine at the White House on Sunday has stirred the imagination of media and some Republicans, including Donald Trump, who waste no time in suggesting that either Joe or Hunter Biden were the clandestine owners. While there is, of course, no evidence that the 80-year-old president and his son were responsible for the tiny bag found in a high-traffic area where guests touring the White House are asked to leave their belongings, rumors of illicit drug use have peppered the White House's history. From rumors of Willie Nelson lighting up on the roof, Carter scolding staff after reported occasional use of cocaine. Here's a brief, unverified history of supposed drug use at the iconic presidential residence. Look, if you can have unverified history in Rolling Stone, I feel like we can speculate on Kamala Harris's drug use on here.
But you know Biden was doing coke with Jimmy Carter.
Oh,
right?
Yeah.
Couple good old boys like that.
Oh, definitely. So, number one, Willie Nelson says he smoked a joint on the roof of the White House.
Cool.
When asked on CNN if it was true he rolled a joint on the White House roof under Carter's tenure, Willie Nelson clarified and said, "I rolled it before I got up there." I mean, at least he's honest.
Yeah, that's fair.
He's like, I just want to set the rumor straight. No, I did not roll a joint on the White House roof. I rolled the joint and then went to the White House roof. The host followed up by asking if he was afraid of getting caught, to which the country icon replied, "I should have been." Well, when you're as high as Willie Nelson, he's not afraid of anything. After a 1978 report that there was a high incidence of marijuana use, get it? High incidence of marijuana use among White House employees and occasional use of cocaine, Carter issued a chastising memorandum to 351 staff members. The former president warned that workers who disregarded the drug laws could see it elsewhere. It's probably more like this. If you guys are doing drugs and not sharing with me, you can find employment elsewhere. I expect every member of the White House staff to obey the law. Whether you agree with the law or whether or not others obey the law is totally irrelevant. Whether or not that sentiment applied to rooftop trips is debatable. Apparently, who's Erkan Mufasa? Do you know that name?
Isn't that Simba's dad?
No, that's Mufasa. It's a British actor, I guess.
Okay.
Yeah, allegedly claims that he smoked in the White House before a 1986 meeting with former First Lady Nancy Reagan during her Just Say No campaign.
Okay, that's cool.
That's not irony at its finest.
No.
He's like, I'm going to meet with the First Lady during her anti-drug campaign, but before I do, I'm going to do a bunch of drugs. Says, when I met Nancy, I was out of it, he said. He has since denied the rumors, saying he he and other, I'm guessing, Grange Hill cast members made up the story after being questioned about the incident. I came up with the story that bit me on the arse. Looking back, you live and learn, he told The Guardian. So, I don't, do you think? So now he's saying he didn't, but back then he said he did, because that is a crazy. Like, before meeting with
I'm
the
saying,
anti-drug lady.
Yeah, I'm saying he probably didn't do it.
You don't think so?
No, because what reason would he have to deny it now? They're both dead,
right? And it's a little more socially acceptable.
Yeah,
and now
exactly.
It's to the point where you can laugh it off and be like, "Fuck yeah, I did drugs."
Yeah, right, yeah. So
probably did it.
Credit to Willie Nelson for at least not backtracking.
Right. John F. Kennedy, says rumors have long swirled about a doctor named Dr. Feelgood. So he had, you've heard, who is it? Who's the band that sings Dr. Feelgood? No,
no.
Motley Crue. There you go. Yep. They're about the doctor that comes and gives you a shot of medicine to make you and like keep the. I wonder. It's got to be. I would assume it's the same Dr. Feelgood.
I would think so. Yeah.
Says rumors have long swirled about a Dr. Feelgood, real name Max Jacobson, who prescribed amphetamines for both JFK and former First Lady Jackie Kennedy Onassis. In a New York magazine feature on the 50th anniversary of JFK's death, Dr. Jacobson had reportedly administered amphetamine and a slurry of other goodies to JFK, who took a crazy quilt of drugs to address several ailments largely unknown to the public at the time. Yeah, he was like in miserable pain all the fucking time.
He
so
was in horrible health.
He's getting a shot from Dr. Feelgood. I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
I mean, all the other shit that Kennedy had going on at the White House, I think Dr. Feelgood probably okay.
Yeah, I'm gonna say that one's acceptable.
Says gate logs show Jacobson visited the White House more than 30 times in 1961 and 62 to see both the president and the first lady. Now, why she was getting shots from Dr. Feelgood?
Just to being married to him.
Yeah, maybe. There are also decades-old tabloid rumors that the former president, Henry Pinchot Meyer, an American painter and ex-wife of a CIA officer, smoked pot within this sounds so boomerish, smoked pot. It's like freaking Hank Hill writing us. Smoked the reefer in a White House bedroom. But we'll leave that up to for the public to reckon with. No, we can speculate here.
Yeah.
I mean, this whole article is fucking speculation.
Right,
so why are we? It's like there's rumors that he smoked pot in the White. If that's all JFK did in the White House, I would be absolutely shocked. You know that guy was having coke parties. You know that guy was having. I mean, this is the fucking 60s.
Right.
There's probably acid running around the freaking White House. Probably all kinds of shit. He was having orgies at the White House.
Oh fuck yeah,
for sure.
Yeah.
And I mean, the Kennedys had freaking Marilyn Monroe offed with drugs, so you know they were dipping into that shit too. Again, all speculation. Don't come kill us or anything. Apparently, Snoop Dogg lit up in a White House bathroom.
Does that surprise anybody?
You've got Willie Nelson. You've got Snoop Dogg. You're inviting them to the White House.
You
so
know who they are.
Supposed to be shocked.
Yeah.
That they did drugs at the White House. During a 2014 episode of Snoop Dogg's show, GGN, the Double G News Network. Did not know that was a thing. The rapper and entrepreneur told guest Jimmy Kimmel that he toked up in a bathroom at the White House, although he didn't specify when. I said, look, when I do number 2, I usually, have a cigarette or I light something to get the aroma right. Said the rapper when describing an exchange with security officials. They said, you know what? You can light a piece of napkin. I said, just light a napkin on fire in the fucking White House?
Yeah, that sounds fire hazard.
Yeah, I mean, the fact that they would just be like, yeah, just fucking light some paper on fire in the White House. That's fine. That's cool to get rid of your shit smells. That's fine.
Yeah.
Pointing to a blunt, he added, and the napkin was this. I believe it, but that just tells me how lax the Secret Service acts when it comes to like the higher profile people, like the celebrities and shit.
Yeah.
Like, how many people do you think were doing drugs during the Obama? Remember the Obama's
yeah.
like secret like party where they had Prince?
Yeah.
They had oh shit, who else? It was a
Probably
white guy.
Snoop Dogg.
Well, yeah, probably. It was Prince accompanied by the blind black guy. What's his name?
Oh, Stevie Wonder.
Stevie Wonder, yeah. And then I think there was a white artist out there with
Probably.
them. I can't remember who it
Rod,
was.
Rod Stewart.
I don't know. But you know, you get those guys in a row.
What are they
they're
going to
doing
do,
fucking drugs.
right?
Yeah.
I mean, he's smoking. Secret Service is like, sir, how should we handle this? He's like,
it's fucking
Snoop
Dogg.
Dogg. Who cares?
Like, what did you expect?
Yeah.
And they're, I don't know. I can't imagine. Like, Obama wanted those people to be his bros.
Oh,
he wanted
yeah,
to feel
right.
like he was in that celebrity
Yeah.
status.
He
which
probably was like, Snoop, come on. Why didn't you call me, man? I would have hit it.
Yeah. No, he only. Well, even Obama has admitted.
Oh yeah.
To doing cocaine in his past, like trying it, but not like he probably
Right.
didn't.
You know, he
inhale,
did a lot of
obviously.
it.
Obviously. So those are, I think that's it. So which one of these stories is the most surprising to you? Is it Snoop Dogg lighting up in the bathroom?
No.
Is it Willie smoking pot on the roof of the White House?
Not really.
Is it cocaine being found in the White House? No.
Yeah, none of them really. None of them surprise me.
That's just it. It's like like I'm sure there are way more examples of drug use and partying and debauchery and all kinds of shit that goes on at the White House. And you're telling me who was it that came out, this freaking Secret Service guy or the FBI or whoever was like, this is an outrage.
Right.
Drugs at the White House?
I think
Shocked.
it's Comer, Representative Comer out of Kentucky.
Yeah. And it's just like, well, Comer, he's a Republican, right? That's why.
Yeah.
He's just like shocked. They found a Democrat doing cocaine.
Shocked, just shocked.
Yeah. It's like they would never find a Republican doing drugs at the White House. Never. So I've got one more example here. And I haven't even read the story. I just saw the headline. I wanted us to experience this together. So hopefully it's as much of a doozy as the headline reads. This is from the New York Post. It says, Madison Cawthorn, not sure who that is. Madison Cawthorn is a representative.
Okay.
Madison Cawthorn says that DC is an orgy-filled, cocaine-fueled house of cards.
I believe that. 100%.
I do as well. So, I mean, all this is just evidence to say no shock here that they found cocaine. So I wanted to read this together just because this sounds juicy.
Yeah.
And I was just like, I don't even want to, I want to get real time reaction even from myself here. So again, hopefully it's good as it sounds.
Who's the article from?
This from New York Post.
Okay.
Representative Madison Cawthorn says his fellow lawmakers have invited him to take part in orgies in Washington and snorted lines of cocaine right in front of him. So it's not talking specifically the White House, but it is talking his cohorts in DC.
Yeah, the political class.
The people that do frequent the White House from time to time.
The people that are shocked by this.
Yes. Cawthorn, a 26-year-old Republican from North Carolina, was asked in an interview last Thursday about whether the former Netflix series House of Cards, let's see how old this article is. This is from March of last year. So
okay, they're not that old though.
No. Asked about whether the former Netflix series House of Cards, which chronicles a corrupt representative from South Carolina and DC, played by Kevin Spacey, was fiction or more like a documentary. The only thing that's not accurate in that show is that you could never get a piece of legislation about education passed that quickly.
Fair,
says Cawthorn.
Yeah.
Then he explained the sexual perversion that goes on in Washington. I mean, being kind of a young guy in Washington where the average age is probably 60 or 70, you look at all these people, and a lot of them that I've looked up to my whole life, I've always paid attention to politics. Then all of a sudden you get invited. We're going to have a sexual get together at one of our homes. You should come. What did you just ask me to come to? And then you realize they're asking you to come to an orgy, he said. I mean, you're talking like 60, 70-year-old guys like, dude, you should come join my orgy. Is this guy in a wheelchair? I mean, how's that guy orgying up anyway? Sorry, that was ableist.
Well, that's probably why he's pissed and talking about it.
He's like, My dick don't
Yeah,
work, guys.
thanks, asshole.
He also claimed to have seen people he described as leading national anti-addiction efforts snort coke. So they're on the forefront of anti-drug policies,
Of course.
and they're snorting cocaine right in front of them.
Doesn't surprise me either.
He said, and then you watch them do a bump of cocaine right in front of you, and it's like, this is wild. The Republican also made headlines earlier this month when he referred to Ukrainian President Zelensky as a thug and the country's government as incredibly evil. Voters in North Carolina have sued keep him off the ballot this November because of comments he made supporting the U.S. Capitol rioters. Blah, blah, blah. What that has to do with orgies, I mean,
yeah,
just didn't get as juicy as I wanted.
No,
But
no.
again, of all the shit that we know happens in Washington, of all the rumors that go on in Washington, of all the conspiracy theories we like to dive into,
Yes.
who fucking cares about a bag of cocaine? Like, who really cares?
Yeah.
Like, why are the Republicans even taking any effort to try to figure out who's cocaine? This is an outrage. We got to figure out whose cocaine this is.
Yeah. Because any shot they can take at the Biden administration, they're going to take.
There's a chance it was a police officer that was trying to plant it on a black guy who was coming through the White House doors.
Right.
There's a chance it was his cocaine.
Absolutely.
There's a chance it's any of these politicians' cocaine. But again, many of them would know if they lost their cocaine.
Absolutely.
And they'd come back looking for it. Somebody knows whose cocaine it. I mean, we've got, hey, you know, it's, I think, the meme with the Joker, and it's like, such and such happens and nobody bats an eye, and then such and such happens and everybody loses their fucking mind.
Right.
Got like rumors of orgies and pedophilia and stuff running rampant through DC for decades now. Decades. I mean, not just like the Pizzagate scandal, back to the 80s with the Reagan Bush administration with Boys Town. You remember Boys Town?
Yep.
That shit has ran rampant. Those theories have ran rampant in DC for 40 plus years now, and nobody bats an eye. A little bag of cocaine gets dropped on the floor at the White House, and everybody loses their fucking minds.
And it's every political ruling class. I mean, all the way back to, you know, freaking beginning of time.
Yeah.
I mean, they're all doing shit that because they feel like they're above the moral law.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
Absolutely.
They can do whatever the fuck they want because they sit on top of it all.
Like, you got to know these people are engaged in the grossest debauchery that you can think
Absolutely.
of. The most immoral people you've probably ever met.
I'm sure Newt Gingrich was snorting coke off Nancy Pelosi's ass in the 80s.
Gross.
Right?
Stop.
I mean, that's probably accurate.
God, why you gotta be so visual all the time? But
that's what you paid me
like
for.
Alex Jones, I get that he doesn't have a lot of credibility these days, but he exposed the Bohemian Grove and all the debauchery that those people like went and had their like freaking sex fest / possibly human sacrifice fest. You know, and, like these people engage in for fun things that we're just like, dude, what the fuck? Like, I mean, there are perverse people in the real world, and then there's like politicians that make those perverts in the real world blush.
Absolutely. But you know, I mean, they don't care about killing somebody who's in the way.
No.
So why would they care about fucking them?
Right.
You know, I mean,
fair enough. Fair enough. So, I mean, do we even fucking care? Even if it is Nancy Pelosi's or Kamala Harris's coat, do we care?
Doesn't matter.
Does it?
The next administration's going to have the same
Even
thing.
if it comes out, is anybody going to do a goddamn thing about it? No. Because of all the fucking things. I wish they were just all doing coke. If they were just all sitting around doing coke and making laws that whatever, do your coke if that keeps your motor running, it keeps you working through the night, keeping this country rolling, pass some good laws in the process, maybe figure out the fucking budget, that'd be great. Maybe stop taxing the shit out of us, that'd be great. But do your coke, that's fine. But the parties, there's like, I mean, there's rumors of Obama throwing these weird like gay orgies there. Again, this is all speculative, but this whole fucking show has been speculative.
Right.
But just the rumors that are out there, are so bad that real life has to be problematic in the least.
Yeah, right.
Like looking at shows like House of Cards, you got to know that shit comes from somewhere. It's not just somebody just made up this wild story that everybody in DC are a bunch of drug heads and degenerates and they kill people that get in their way.
Yeah.
I mean, look at the fucking Clintons. We did a whole episode on the Clinton body count.
Right.
And he was doing some freaking hardcore drugs.
Yeah.
He was engaged in some high class debauchery.
Yeah.
So when we get news stories that maybe a member of Congress stopped their cocaine, God damn it, we gotta put a stop to all the drugs in the white. Like you're gonna pretty much fire everybody.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
How about we focus on the shit that matters?
Yeah. Any more unrealistic is closer to the show West Wing, where they all just want to really do a good job, right?
We're not politicians. We're all here to serve the people. We're all here just
we
to
just
do a
wanna
damn
help
good
society,
job.
right? That's very unrealistic.
Like that's a conspiracy theory,
Yeah,
man.
right.
That's wild.
Yeah.
That would make the headlines. Newsflash. Politicians in DC want to do a good job. What?
Yeah, right.
Get their ass out of there.
Yeah. We can't have that.
Oh man. I don't know. What do you think of all this?
I agree. 20 years ago, maybe, I would have been like, but now it's like,
Would
okay.
you have though, like the 80s? I guess 20 years ago would have been late or early 2000s.
Yeah, right.
God,
Yeah. I was
that's
in
how
my-
old you are. You
I
think that
know.
20 years ago was in the
But I mean, I would say I was a political idealist in the early 80s.
Sure.
Or,
the
sorry,
early 80s? Wow.
2000s. I know, right? No, in the early 2000s, I would say I was, I still believed that, somebody was trying to do some good there, right?
I mean, we all did. We all were pro like war on terror.
Yeah,
all
right.
of us were.
Right.
Now, I mean, yeah, going back to early 2000s, post 9/11, whatever, you find out that freaking all the politicians are just up there to have orgies and do drugs and probably fuck little kids, most likely. To me, like that wasn't even on my radar back then.
Right.
That wasn't even
no.
that wasn't even like in the shadow of my mind back then. Then you dive into some of the conspiracy theories.
Well, look how shocked everybody was with with Clinton and Monica Lewinsky, right? I mean, that was scandalous at the time,
Yeah,
right?
can you imagine if a report came out that somebody gave somebody a blowjob in the White House today?
Right, and be like, okay, so
and he was
Kamal's
married.
there.
He was married,
right?
Okay, and
yeah,
and she was like under, like not literally, but she was like his subordinate,
right?
And
okay.
all right,
yeah. Yeah.
You got anything else? And we found cocaine on the floor of the White House. Cocaine on the floor of the White House.
Yeah, right.
Like, I'm surprised this actually made the news, to be honest.
Yeah. Well, but
like there had to have been an instance where it had to make the news. Somebody had to have seen it that shouldn't have seen it for it to make the news.
And
It's like,
that's
I guess
exactly
we
it.
gotta
It got leaked to somebody and it got out, and that's why
got leaked to a Republican, because who the fuck cares? Except the people that are trying to get Biden out of the White House.
Right.
Who cares?
Right. Yeah, absolutely.
It's probably like Comer or somebody walked in, his cocaine slipped. He's like, oh shit, I dropped it. Oh, I could do something with this.
Yeah, right.
Hey, there's cocaine on the floor over there. You should check that out. And while you're at it, you should report it.
Yeah.
We find cocaine on the floor here all the time. That's not something to report. Then he calls up just an anonymous tip.
Yeah, right. To the DCPD.
There's cocaine found on the floor.
Yeah.
To Fox News. It wasn't DCPD.
Oh, no.
Because they don't care either. It's
right,
Fox
right.
News.
They're like, yeah, so.
And he calls Fox News. He's like, just so you know, there's cocaine on the floor of the White House. And Fox News like, and it was probably Biden's.
Yeah.
Like, oh, okay. You catch my drift, right?
Yeah.
I mean, who the fuck cares?
Right. Right.
Who cares?
Yeah. And again, it's sad that we've gotten to that place. You know?
Yeah. I mean, we're doing it just because it's hilarious to me.
Yeah.
That, I mean, this whole show is just kind of to poke fun at all the shit anymore. Anyways,
Right.
It's like
because there's so much of it.
It's like why is everybody talking about this? It's like that's why we're talking about it, because it's the circus that we're part of.
Yeah.
The circus where we give two shits that a dime bag of cocaine fell on the floor of the White House that apparently doesn't have drug sniffing dogs or any kind of drug.
Yeah, right.
Which that to me, I mean, again, it's not surprising at all because of the people there, but it's surprising that the most heavily guarded place in the country doesn't have drug dogs.
Right. Yeah. That and the fact that it's been over a week and they still don't have a clue.
Yes,
Right?
they do. They know exactly who it is. They just haven't found a person to pin it on yet.
Exactly. They're going to pick up poor Pablo, who is there trimming the hedges.
Some sad black guy.
No, they're going to dig up Danny White Boy Smith again.
Definitely Danny White Boy Smith.
I don't know. Biden got a Ferrari from him in the 80s, and now
white boy's back.
That's right. It
White
can't be a
boy's
person
back
of
in
color.
town. No, I guess it couldn't.
No.
I mean, that goes against
Yeah.
everything.
Yeah.
Now, the narrative that was planted on a black guy who's like, shit, that's not my cocaine through on the floor. That's probably more likely to express the injustice in the world today. Or, I don't know. We could go so far with this. He was just doing it to make a living because life is so unfair.
Right.
So
he's a victim of society.
He's a victim of society this racist society that we live in today.
Yeah.
I don't know. You got anything else on White House cocaine?
I'm sure there'll be plenty more to come.
No, there won't.
No, this will die. It'll putter out. It'll come out like I don't know, Friday night when no one cares, and they'll be like, yeah, well, it's inconclusive, so we're just gonna let it go.
Right. That's it.
Yeah. Yeah.
There are drugs in the White House. Newsflash. There's lots of drugs in the White House, if you didn't know.
And worse shit.
There's a lot worse shit in the White House. Just look into it.
Yeah. And
Maybe
it's
we'll
not
have
just this administration.
We need another conspiracy hour. We need to dig into.
Yeah.
Well, the shit I want to dig into will definitely get us kicked off YouTube. Though.
Let's do it, man. Let's do it.
It definitely will. So, I haven't looked into Boys Town in a while. That's like pre-Pizzagate. That's like Pizzagate before Pizzagate was ever a
Pizzagate 1.0.
Yeah, it's like the prequel to Pizzagate. So look into that stuff, and then this cocaine on the floor of the White House will seem pretty like 70s sitcom style of innocence. So that's all I got. This was a short episode, but we've given you a lot of long episodes, so we feel we owe you a shorter episode. Make sure you let us know what you think. Like, first of all, the biggest question is, whose cocaine was found on the White House floor? Are you still going with Kamala?
With Kamala.
You sticking with
Yeah,
Kamala?
I still think it's Kamala.
I'm gonna go with Joe, just to be just to be the odd man out.
All right.
Because of his cocaine rage that they've been reporting on this last week. Maybe this is just them easing in, like, well, what is it that would cause Joe Biden is such an old, like, innocent man to just fly off the handle, and then find out, well, he's a product of the 70s and 80s. It's his old coke addiction coming back, and maybe that's how
the stress.
Maybe he's not dying as fast as they want, so
Right.
they're trying to push him out with his coke addiction. Be like, well, Joe Biden's got this coke addiction. That's where Hunter gets it from,
right?
Yeah, and so it's time for old Joe to go.
Yeah.
I mean, can you? I mean, he's 80 years old. Are we really? It's kind of like we were with Elton John. It's like he's 80, like 70 some years old. He's banging on the piano. He's still freaking phenomenal. Are we really going to hold a coke addiction against him?
Because I mean, are you on the same page as me? Is that there's no way they run him again?
Oh, absolutely not.
Something's got to happen.
He would need a lot of cocaine to run again. A lot. Maybe they're trying to jumpstart his freaking brain with the cocaine. Maybe that's it. I don't know. Maybe that's it. They're like, dude, this guy, he's just dead. He's just fucking a corpse.
Yeah.
We need
the only thing that gets him excited is ice cream anymore.
Yeah, we need something to make him act like he's alive when he's in front of. Just give him a bump. Just tell him it's his medicine or something.
Right.
And then somebody delivering him, and that's why he's been so like ornery lately and getting pissy lately. The other flip side of that is a lot of people with dementia get to that like ornery phase.
That's true. Yeah.
they get that like nastiness
Yeah.
and like flying off the handle for no reason. So
That's
it's
true.
either, there's only two options here. It's
Yeah.
either dementia or it's cocaine.
Right.
I mean, that there's no other possibility that would cause that
Right.
kind of anger
Yeah.
outburst.
Yeah.
Obviously.
Obviously.
You heard it here.
We're the experts.
We are the experts. I'm going with Joe. You're going with Kamala.
Yeah.
I guess we'll all find out. You
Yeah.
guys tell us what you think. Tell us whose cocaine was
Yeah.
was found at the White House. You can comment. The comment section is always open, so make sure you leave your comments on.
Yes. To complete the clue format, it was Kamala with the carpenter in the Situation Room.
Tell us what you think in the comment section. You can also hit up our Facebook forum, which is the Breaking the Bell forum, or you can hit us up on Twitter at Break the Bell Pod. Again, leave it in a comment. Just leave one name, and I'll know what you're talking about. Just say Kamala or say Creepy Joe or something like that.
Yeah.
Just so I know that you're paying attention. You've done your due diligence of researching this by listening to us ramble for the last hour and a half, and just tell us, because I'm interested to see what you think, because we have our opinions, and they're based on literally nothing, no facts whatsoever, besides the fact that all of them are cokeheads.
Yes.
Check us out all over social media. You can find us at Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at the handle at Break the Bell Pod. Check out our website where you can find links to everything that we do at www.breakthebellpod.com. Next week, I don't know, probably Monday. Are you going to be here next
I
week?
won't
God
be here
damn,
next week. I know,
Bill.
I know, but it's my last week of the year until Christmas, probably.
Until the next time you leave.
No, this is it. This is the last vacation planned.
We'll find out.
Yes.
I guess. Join me as we find out if Bill will ever return to the show, if I don't fucking fire him for bailing on the show too many times in this year. I'll probably be here next week if I don't just decide, fuck it, Bill's not here. Maybe I'll just, I don't know. We'll do something.
Yeah.
We'll do something. Monday night.
Don't do the conspiracy one though. Save that one.
I
for
will
me.
do that as a punishment. I'm going to do it without you.
That's
Bet you I could get my brother to do it.
I'm sure you could.
He'd probably do a better job at it anyway.
Probably
not. He's an asshole. Get back here. We're mostly live Monday night, 7 p.m. Central Standard Time. Join the fun, join the party, join the comment section, because we love the interaction with you guys. Share this shit far and wide, like I said. Like, subscribe, all that fun, happy bullshit that we keep telling you to do every single week. Otherwise, we'll catch you next week.
Peace.
I don't know where my buttons are at. My mouse isn't working. Let's try this again.
Okay.
We'll catch you next week.
My piece isn't on the camera.
God damn it, Bill.
Oh, there we
Let's
go.
try
Peace.
again.
There we go.
We'll catch you next week.
Peace.
Goodbye.
The Break the Bell podcast is brought to you by you. So pat yourself on The Break the Bell podcast is brought to you by you. So pat yourself on the back, because without you, we would be talking to ourselves. A special thanks to our Patreon members, Justin Zielinski, Remzo Martinez, Stephanie Parker, and T.O. Jacobson. A shout out to our sponsors, Run Your Mouth Coffee, the On the Run podcast, and Goulash Media. If you'd like to help support us, visit patreon.com/breakthebell or buy our garbage at breakthebell.bigcartel.com. Get back here next week and let us continue to invade your ear holes. And as always, never stop talking.